If you're preparing for the Topic 2 exam and you're looking for a study plan that will make your exam preparation a bit simpler and more organized, then believe me, this video is going to be quite helpful to you. So watch it till the end. Hi guys, my name is Vedansh. I'm from India. I'm currently a Topic Level 5 holder. I'm also a Korean language instructor, so I've taught students and helped them prepare for the Topic 2 exam very recently. And today I wanted to share the study plan that I personally followed when I first started preparing for the Topic 2 exam in 2024, and I got a level 5 in my first attempt. This is the same plan that I have taught my students, or I recommend to literally anybody else who would ask me for tips or tricks on how to prepare for the Topic 2 exam. So my Topic 2 exam is in 4 days, but because I don't want to study, so instead I'm making this video, which I wanted to make since a very long time. And the validity of the topic exam is for 2 years. So since I gave it in 2024, I'm preparing for the topic exam again in 2026. That is why I felt like this is a good time to go over the strategy once again. Now, in the very beginning of this video, I want to make it clear that this video is only for the people who are very sure that they're going to give the topic 2 exam. If you're confused whether you want to give the topic 1 exam or the topic 2 exam, I have a separate video on that. You can watch that and maybe that will help clear some of your questions or doubts. Now, for the people who have decided that they will be giving the topic 2 exam soon, next year, or anytime in the future, let's talk about a study plan. Why is it important to have a study plan? Because when you're preparing for the topic 2 exam, the syllabus is vast. It is like endless. It is like the ocean. It is like swimming in the ocean. So a lot of people get overwhelmed, which is very natural. When you first encounter the topic 2 exam or even try to prepare for it, a lot of people feel the pressure. They get overwhelmed, they get nervous, they don't know where to start from. That is why I'm making this video, to tell you where exactly to start from. Now, this video will have 5 sections, which I'll be discussing all of the sections in detail. So I'm just listing down the steps that we'll be talking about. Step 1 is setting your goal level. Step 2 is setting your marks distribution. Step 3 is determining exactly how many questions you need to solve in the exam. Step 4 is choosing your questions properly. And step 5 is preparing for the exam. Now we'll be moving from one step to another and talking about all the steps in great detail. Also, if there's any background noise during this video, please ignore it because I live in a very noisy neighborhood. So let's talk about step 1, which is setting your goal level. Now, what is a goal level? First of all, the level that you're aiming to achieve in the topic 2 exam is your target level. When you're giving the topic 2 exam, you can achieve 4 levels, level 3, 4, 5, or 6. Depending upon the marks you get in the exam, you are assigned one of these levels. For example, if you want to achieve level 3 in the topic 2 exam, then your target level will be level 3. Goal level is target level plus 1, which means if your target level is level 3, then your goal level is level 4. So what does the goal level mean? The goal level is the level for which you will be actually preparing. If you want to achieve level 3, you will prepare for level 4. If you want to achieve level 4, you will prepare for level 5. If you want to achieve level 5, you will prepare for level 6. If you want to achieve level 6, you will prepare for level 6. The importance of setting your goal level a level higher than your target level is that it creates a buffer. It leaves room for error. Errors, silly mistakes, or questions you might not know in the exam. All the marks that you lose because of these errors can be accommodated in this gap, in this buffer, so that ultimately you end up landing in the marks range of your target level. In very simple words, if you want to achieve level 3 in topic 2, you need 120 marks or above. But if you need 120 marks, you won't prepare exactly for 120 marks. You will prepare for more than 120 marks, a marks range higher than 120. Because obviously you are bound to make errors or mistakes that you might know or not know about, and you will lose marks because of that. So if we prepare for a higher level, even if we lose a bit of marks, we will end up landing somewhere near 120 or 130, and we will be able to get level 3. That is the logic behind this. Now, there are certain factors that you can consider while setting your goal level. These factors are, first of all, your current language skills. Secondly, the amount of time you have left before the exam. Thirdly, how much time can you actually devote to studying for the exam? On a daily basis, regular basis, that is upon you. But when you are setting your goal level, in the sense, what is the level you're trying to achieve? These factors are very important in setting a realistic goal, because everybody wants to achieve a higher level in the topic 2 exam for whatever reason. You want to get a job, you want to get into a university or whatever. But setting realistic goals is more important if you want things to be a little bit more smooth, if you want your preparation to be less burdensome, and also to set realistic expectations for yourself so that you don't end up getting disappointed later on. For example, let's discuss these factors in a bit detail. First is your current language level. Now, if you have cleared the topic 1 exam, which means you have cleared level 2, it doesn't necessarily mean that you are ready for level 3, because the gap between level 2 and level 3 is a lot. It's not uniform. It's not like level 1, level 2, level 3. It's like level 1, level 2, level 3, level 4. So the gap being inconsistent throws off a lot of people. A lot of people do not expect that. That is why they fail in the topic 2 exam, because if you score less than 120, it means you failed. In that case, no level will be assigned to you. That is why assessing your current language level is very important. One of the ways in which you can do that is by solving any previous year paper from the topic 2 exam to actually see how much do you understand. How many questions are you able to understand, the level of vocabulary, the level of grammar used, how much are you able to understand it with ease, properly. The second factor is the amount of time left before the exam. Now, if there's a lot of time left before the exam, it makes it easier to prepare for a higher level, to prepare more. Now, if there's a lot of time left before the exam, you can aim for a higher level because you will have more time for preparation. But if there's less amount of time before the exam, like a few months or a few weeks, then aiming for a lower level would be more realistic. Third factor is the amount of time that you can actually devote to studying for the exam on a daily basis or a regular basis. My personal recommendation is being able to study daily, even if it is for a short amount of time, 15, 20 minutes, half an hour, 1 hour, whatever. Try to solve at least one question on a daily basis. So it is important to ask yourself how much time you can devote on a daily basis, or how much time you can devote for the exam in a week, because a lot of people have jobs, they do not get the time to study consistently. In that case, it will take you more time to prepare for the exam. If you're aiming for higher levels, it will keep on taking more and more time to actually achieve those levels, because the more you study, the more easy it will be for you to learn information and pass the exam. The more easy it will be for you to target higher levels in a shorter amount of time. So keeping these factors in mind help you set a more realistic goal. They help you manage your expectations. Now moving on to step 2 of your study plan, which is setting your marks distribution. Now what do I mean by a marks distribution? First of all, let's look at the cutoff marks for each level in the topic 2 exam. Now in the topic 2 exam, we have 4 levels. So level 3 at 120 or above marks, level 4 at 150 or above, level 5 at 190 or above, and level 6 at 230 or above. Below 120, it's fail. If your marks are below 120, it means you have failed the exam. Now let's look at each section in the topic 2 exam and how much marks do they hold. Now the topic 2 exam has 3 sections: writing, listening, and reading. All of the sections are of 100 marks, which means that the exam overall is of 300 marks. Reading has 50 questions of 2 marks each. Listening has 50 questions of 2 marks each. Writing has 4 questions. The total marks for the 4 questions is 100. So the distribution in writing is: question 51 is 10 marks, question 52 is 10 marks, question 53 is 30 marks, and question 54 is 50 marks. So basically the mark structure for the reading and the listening section is basically the same. 50 marks, 2 questions each. Now let's take an example. In step 1, we set our goal level. For example, my target level is level 3. I want to achieve level 3 in the topic 2 exam. So my goal level will be level 4. If I have to achieve level 4, I need 150 marks. The marks range for level 4 is 150 or above. But 150 in itself is 30 marks more than 120, the actual level I want to achieve. So this amount of gap is enough. So we'll consider 150 marks. Now my preparation will be for 150 marks. I'll be preparing as if I want to achieve 150 marks, so that even after errors, mistakes, whatever marks I lose, it lands somewhere near 120 marks so that I get level 3. But when we consider 150 marks, we have to define how do we distribute these 150 marks in the 3 sections: listening, writing, reading. The very first way is considering an average distribution. You distribute the marks equally amongst the 3 sections, which would be 50, 50, 50. 50 marks in reading, 50 marks in listening, 50 marks in writing. So when you distribute the marks equally amongst all the sections, this means that your skills in all the sections are the same. If you're getting the same marks in all the sections, it means your reading skills, listening skills, writing skills are at the same level. But this is not realistic. Realistically, there will be a difference, there will be a gap. For some people, some skills will be their strength, whereas some skills will be their weakness. For example, I personally feel my reading is much more stronger than my writing and my listening. This means that I have a higher probability of scoring more in reading or preparing better for the reading section in comparison to the listening section and writing section. So technically, we need to calculate how much effort do we need to put in each section. If I can score better in reading section, maybe I'll try to put more effort in the reading section. If my writing section is weak and I really want to improve my writing, then I will try to put more effort in writing. So that is based upon your own personal preferences. So this brings me to my next point: recognizing your strengths and weaknesses, as in which section is your strength, which section is your weakness, and then you adjust this marks distribution. This average marks distribution, like in this case, we had the distribution 50, 50, 50, 50 in each section. But once I say that my reading section is more stronger in my opinion, as in I can score better in reading, I can take those chances. So instead of 50, maybe I can score 70. Now, if I target for 70 marks, that is a 20 marks increase. I can reduce that 20 marks from any other section. For example, taking away 20 marks from one section only. So I reduce it from writing. So now my distribution is 70 marks in reading, 30 marks in writing, 50 marks in listening. This gives you an idea the amount of effort you need to put in each section according to your strengths and weaknesses. Or you could make the marks distribution like 70 marks in reading, 40 marks in writing, 40 marks in listening. So in this way, you can tweak it according to your own personal analysis of your strengths and weaknesses. Now this brings me to my third point, the third point of the study plan, which is defining how many questions do you actually need to solve in the exam. Unless and until you're aiming for the higher levels in the Topic 2 exam, level 5 and level 6, these levels basically require you to solve the entire paper. Because for level 5, your goal level will be level 6. You have to prepare as if you're preparing for level 6. So for level 5 and level 6, you have to study for the entire paper, which is kind of a non-negotiable if you want to achieve those levels easily. But for level 3 and level 4, you have more choice. You have more room to solve only specific questions instead of trying to solve each and every question in the exam. Now let me tell you how you can do that. And I feel like this can be best applied to level 3, level 4 and somewhat level 5. Let's consider the marks distribution I had set in the earlier step. Reading 70 marks, writing 30 and listening 50. Now considering the mark structure of the reading section, every question is of 2 marks. So if I want to achieve 70 marks, it means I need to solve a minimum of 35 questions. Like I need to get 35 questions correct. Only then will I be able to get 70 marks. For the listening section, if I want to get 50 marks, it means I need to get 25 questions correct, minimum, because every question is of 2 marks. For the writing section, because the distribution is a bit uneven and I need to get 30 marks, so I can go for the first 3 questions, 51, 52, 53. The total for these questions is 40 marks. So out of 40, I can land somewhere near 30 marks. So this is the step that you can apply to your own personal marks distribution. This tells you exactly or the minimum number of questions you need to get right in every section in order to get the amount of marks you're aiming for. First of all, this tells me that I don't need to solve each and every question in the exam. So this significantly reduces the amount of pressure and burden from your head while you're preparing for the exam. Because initially, when we start preparing for the exam, we feel like, oh, we need to know everything, we need to solve everything, but that's not true. If your goal is a lower level, you have more room. You have more room to breathe. You have more room to pick certain questions that you feel are easier for you to solve. Because at the end, it is about getting the desired marks. So be picky with your questions, which will be the next step. But basically, this analysis tells me that for this particular marks distribution that we discussed, in reading, I need to get 35 questions correct. In listening, I need to get 25 questions correct. And in writing, I only need to prepare the first 3 questions. So this helps you save time. It gives you an idea about the amount of effort that needs to go into preparing which specific questions. For example, for writing section, question 54 is a very advanced level question. It is of 50 marks also. But preparing for it can be a bit difficult. But the first 3 questions are comparatively easier to solve because they have a fixed format, fixed structure, repeating vocabulary, grammar patterns. So preparing for those 3 questions takes a lot lesser amount of time if you were to prepare for question 54. So now you simply know that you don't need to prepare for question 54. You don't need that headache. Instead, you can spend the rest of your time mastering the first 3 questions that are much more easier to prepare of, and you have a higher chance of getting marks. In this way, this is especially helpful for the listening and reading section because every question is of 2 marks. Questions in the beginning, questions in the end. For these 2 sections, the questions get progressively difficult. Progressively difficult in grammar, vocabulary. So the questions in the beginning will obviously be much more easier than the questions towards the end. Now, if your aim is to get 35 questions correct or 25 or 20 questions correct, obviously you will try to solve the questions in the beginning. Obviously, you will put more time and effort into practicing the beginning questions from different papers. So you don't need to prepare each and every question. Or you can skip the last 10 questions or last 15 questions of these sections because those are not required. Now moving on to the 4th step of the study plan is be picky with your questions, which is something I mentioned earlier, is choosing specific questions which have a higher probability of being right or where you can get marks. Pick questions that are easier to solve. Pick questions that have tips and tricks behind them. Pick questions where the vocabulary or the grammar patterns are repeating because these questions are easy to predict. These questions are easy to prepare for. And there are a lot of questions in the Topic 2 exam where you can observe these sort of things happening. So these questions should be your priority. If you want to know what these questions are, I'll be making a detailed video about them sometime later, but I'll leave a list of these questions in the description box for each section, reading, listening, writing, so that you can check them out and kind of prepare and do a bit more research about them. But this will probably help you get an idea about the different types of questions, what do they generally ask, and what are the questions that you can be confident in, that you can confidently prepare or start from when you are starting your preparation or practicing your questions. Just for a very short example, let's take the reading section. Now, question 1 to 4 are specifically based on grammar. They test your knowledge of grammar patterns. How well do you know them? Question 1 and 2 are specifically based upon the usage of grammar patterns, like in what situations would you use certain grammar patterns. Question 3 and 4 test you upon which grammar patterns are interchangeable with each other, because the Korean language has a lot of grammar patterns where you can swap them. Then there is question 13 to 15 where you have to choose the correct order. So it's a sequence-based question. Question 19 is about connector words or adverbs. Question 21 is about proverbs. Question 23 is about emotions. So these are a few examples. Rest of the list will be in the description box, which you can check. And moving on to the last step of our study plan, step 5 is your preparation. How are you going to prepare? First and foremost things, always prepare using the previous year papers. In my personal opinion, your mind should not wander towards reference books or supplementary material unless and until you have solved a good amount of previous year papers. There are like 10 or 11 old papers that are publicly available, and it might seem less, but once you start solving them, it is a lot of information, a lot of vocabulary, a lot of grammar. The problem with topic reference books, especially for topic 2, is that those are very generalized books. The vocabulary in them very generalized. Most of them just tell you like in a very subtle way or in subtle hints as in how you can solve certain questions. But that is something that you can learn on your own also if you are solving each and every question from the previous year paper. And that is how I prepared. I would pick a paper and solve every question word by word. Like I would translate every question word by word on Papago or use Naver. So that is how I ended up with the vocabulary bank of 2000 to 3000 words. And then it becomes very easy to figure out these patterns in the topic 2 exam, which makes it easier to solve these questions, because in a lot of questions they're asking very specific things where a lot of repeated vocabulary and grammar is coming. But once you start solving the questions, you will notice that certain vocabulary points keep on repeating themselves again and again. Certain themes or concepts, for example, questions about music. Now, in any paper, there is a very high chance that there will at least be 1 or 2 questions related to music. Music instruments, music therapy, or anything music. So vocabulary related to music will repeat. Even not the entire of it, but a lot of vocabulary. So that is why my one and only recommendation is to solve the previous year papers, the old papers, as much as you can. Word to word, sentence to sentence, just don't leave anything. You can get these papers on the website topicguide.com, where you can download all the previous year papers, all the sections, answers, audio files, transcripts, everything is available. You can get them printed if you want to practice them in a much more easier way, because constantly logging onto your computer and studying through a screen was very difficult for me personally, so I just got everything printed. I got my books printed. I made an entire PDF of the previous year papers, all the sections, and got it printed. I got it spiral binded, so every time I have to practice for the topic 2 exam, I just flip through this, and it makes the entire process so easier. It makes it so easy to compare questions between different papers. And if you want this PDF, I will add a Google Drive link in the description. It not only has the PDF, but it also has other reference books that you can use for the topic 2 exam if you want to. The other books that I would actually recommend for the topic 2 exam, one is for the writing section. This book is called Topic 2 Segi Yuyong Master. Now this is a book that I wasn't able to find online, so I borrowed it from my Korean Institute, got it photocopied, and then made a scanned copy of it, which again you can find in that Google Drive link in the description. Now this writing book is the best book for practicing writing. I can swear on my life. Like, you do not need any other book apart from this book if you want to practice the writing for the topic 2 exam. You don't need to follow any other book. This book explains all the 4 questions in great detail. It gives you a general format on how to form an answer. It tells you about the repeating grammar patterns or vocabularies. It has a lot of practice questions. So this book is the best book. And the second book that I would recommend for the reading section is News in Korean by Talk to Me in Korean, because it is a compilation of like news articles. A lot of the questions on the topic 2 exam are in a similar format, in the same format that you have passages in this particular book. That is why if you practice reading and understanding the passages in this particular book, it will be very easier for you to solve the reading questions in the topic 2 exam. So it is a very good book for practicing your reading speed, for practicing general vocabulary and grammar. It also has like an English translation of every passage word by word after each passage, so it's really helpful in that sort of way. And apart from this, for grammar, there's a book called Korean Grammar in Use, which has 3 parts. basic to intermediate, intermediate and advanced. So for topic 2, mostly you'll require the basic and the intermediate, because all the grammar patterns that are usually asked in topic 2 are summarized well enough in the first 2 books. Some of them might be in the third book. But for grammar, this is the best book that you can get anywhere. And you don't need any other book for grammar apart from these, because these books have all the grammar patterns summarized in their content table. And these grammar patterns are grouped according to the usage, like what are the grammar patterns that you would use in a certain situation. So that sort of grouping kind of helps you memorize these grammar patterns more effectively instead of just randomly listing them. So that's it guys, this was the study plan for the topic 2 exam that I wanted to share. If you have any doubt or any queries regarding to anything related to the study plan or apart from this, you can ask me in the comments. I will be solving all the doubts and queries, and all the best for your topic 2 exam.